What up, what up, what up? Bankroll Tim bedded up. Been a few days. But we're in here, the fam, and me. Obviously, we got Jello Joe laid out on the couch, on the phone. You know. Got the wife over there, and my son, working on the Landau right here, or coupe, whichever way you want to call it. All right, so this is a 26 by 11. So it's 12 inches overall, which I did not know this the whole time I've had the rim sitting here. But I always put it on the car. Let's see how far we need to go, this, that, whatever. The car's gonna be set up for 28s, but these are going on it for right now. So right there tells me 2.5, 2 3/4 with the rotor difference from a drum to a rotor, the thickness, this and that, just so it's under enough. So basically I'm gonna go 3 inches. I'm gonna go 3 inches narrower. So I'll get my exact number. I got an 8.5 inch rim that I'm putting together for it. So this is a 7.5. So I'll pull this axle out, boom, measure it, boom. Figure out the outside measurement of the housing. I'll mark the housing, what I need it to be. Order the axles, boom, when the axles get back. But yeah, so look what I got, y'all. All 4 of them. All 4 of them. 40s. I sold my other tires to pay for these tires. And I had to spend a little bit out of pocket for mounting and balancing. But Quinn's Tires, Royal Illinois, boom. We be getting it in, y'all. This front end, a little dirty. We're gonna get there. On the desk should be another one.
Do you got a charger?
There's tons of chargers around here, but I don't know if a battery got put back on them. But this front end, y'all, like I was saying before, with the spring, if you guys don't want to rent the tools and try to put the spring compressor in there and this and that, and you're putting coilovers in, to take that spring out, use the propane torch and sit there and heat each coil, and you'll see how they touch each other. Heat them, that gets the pressure off there, so that way you can take it apart without it snapping out, the spring flying out, taking your fingers off, whatever. I know I've showed that before. But yeah, so this car is gonna get the full frame notch here, just like the 81, which I'm done with the notch on the 81. I'll show you guys that in a minute. See how this side, because of the e-brake, so how far this bows out. So the cut, I made a real good cut on that car on the left side. The right side's not so pretty. But anyways, like I was talking about making a patch panel that would go in here, so that way people could go through and cut this off and then put the patch panel in there that would flow. So that way it's not wide open. But yeah, there's the wife working. There's the son right there. There's my son. You know, sometimes I claim him, sometimes I don't. That little batted up, little bankroll, little OAM. He over here working. They're taking it apart.
Right.
Look at that, y'all. Chicago Club. I always put both wheels on the back of the car, so that way you can measure both sides and see if the rear end ain't off a little bit. Because if you were to measure and do all your measurements off of one side of the car, and let's say the stock control arms are tweaked and it pushes the rear end the other way, you end up taking off either too much or not enough. So too much, yes, you can always space it out, but when you don't take off enough in narrowing, that's when you end up, you know, with a problem. Then you got to go back through and re-narrow. And if you got C-clip axles, it's just a pain in the ass. But yeah, still got Big Nelson's frame right here, Big Boy Nelson. I got to get to doing that. I got so much shit going on. Boom. I've asked 66 Mustang doors that are pretty damn clean. If anybody knows the year range of them and stuff like that and wants them, $500 the best offer. Come get them. Ask me about them, whatever. Lower control arms for the front of this 81 Landau. Boom. Like I said, I still got everything figured out back here. Cutting the rear end down 5.5 inches. Boom, boom, boom. Narrowing the frame real narrow. Bracing it up. The front frame fully notched. Like I was saying with this stuff, I forgot about cutting this piece off until afterwards. But anyways, to make a panel that would hide that. This side came out really flat. There's a couple runs right here. But the way the notch is, you know what I'm saying? The notch is totally flowing. So once again, I did it totally different. I didn't put just that little piece in here. I actually put a whole piece from here to here of 3/16 by 6 inches by 4 and like a quarter, and I put it in there. So when I slit the frame and rolled it in, that frame part's still in there. And when I weld on the outside, I weld in the groove, so I keep a gap, so I fill the whole gap, and that way when you grind it, it grinds the weld down, so you still have weld inside there. Keeps everything smooth. Boom. Upper control arms on there. I gotta tighten up the bolts up here, and like I said, they got splines on them. And with the splines being on them, when you take them out the first time, normally I take them all the way out because it's hard to get the arm out with the steering shaft and all that. So I take these all the way out and the splines get tore up. So when I put this back together, I will tighten the control arm in there, tight, and then I'll weld inside here, which welds the bolt in. Then they'll never come loose on you, never come unshimmed. 2A1, these are the older style arms. I was lucky and got these. So these I will be putting the ball joint underneath here, and I got another thick spacer that will go on top to strengthen it up, which it can be bolted right underneath and be fine. It might even clear right there, fine. This side over here, same thing. You can see I cut that cut way better on the inner tub. Control arms on there. Got to do the same thing. Tighten it up. But see how this side's got more of like a semi. Because this side, I've been having trouble getting paint. So this side is Fusion, Krylon Fusion, flat black. And the other side is flat black, but it's just a regular Krylon. So I tried to even it out. I went to so many stores. I got a couple little holes in it, as in the weld. This side, when I was welding it in, up here I had problems. I think it's because I had my fan on. When I had my fan on, it was blowing like up the frame rail and it was blowing the gas away. But same thing, there's a plate here, and then there's a plate up here. But, the frame notch, boom, nice and curved. That original number from that hole out there, I think was like, from the back, let's see, from back here to here was like 5 something, and now it's 3 inches. So it takes a lot out of there, takes a lot out of here, but it still keeps the frame strong because the 3/16 here and the 3/16 here. And I had the stands underneath the front of it to hold the front up because the motor and all that's in it. So I'm about to get the lowers on here. I got a little trick I'm about to do with putting the lowers on. Oh, in the door. You guys need to spread these open, but then the lowers, how the bushings are, grind the bushings down a little bit so that way they go in easier, because they are a pain in the ass to get in here. But spread this open, like hit it with the hammer, just a little bit, not a lot. The front you really can't because there's a lot of, that's tough right there. But if you take the bushings and grind them down, just with a grinder on both sides, just grind them down a little bit, grind the insert down a little bit, and then they fit right in. Obviously they got the Zerk fittings, you're gonna put grease on it anyways, boom. So these being A225 shot and Viking, to put in that arm, you got to put spacers in here, that 3/4 spacer. So basically changes this hole from a 5/8 hole to a 1/2 inch hole for the bolt size to go into those arms. I've talked about that before in the videos. So nothing done to the cutlass, but me and the wife were cleaning the shop. So as you can see, it's way better than it was. Anybody out there right now, this Hobart welder that I have sitting right here, for sale, works fine. Just been sitting around collecting dust. I'm not using it no more. It's a Handler 140, so it's regular 110. Plug right into your wall. It actually worked excellent for me. I just turned around and, a year or 2 ago and bought the Lincoln. This one's kind of big and heavy. It's got wire in it now. The ground, it needs a ground piece, which a brass handle would be better. But anyways, the gun is a little beat up. It's bigger. The Lincoln has a smaller gun, which is way easier to get into places, and the angle of it. But anyways, anybody want that? New, it was like 800 bucks. It still works fine. It's got the gauges and everything with it, which are, nice gauges. They're not all broke, cracked, nothing. 400 bucks or something like that. So if anybody sees this in the next couple days and they want it, let me know. Hit it in the comments, whatever. But yeah, so we got working. Bankroll Tim, bet it up. You see it. All right, y'all. Landau, Landau. We're getting this one to get out of here. And then we'll get this one. Still got a mini tail this one and all that, and frame knives, brace, and I gotta get a couple more things. I'm short a couple things, but all right, y'all. I'm out. Bankroll Tim, better up.